Hello everyone, welcome to another IT Career Talk with Professionals. And today we have a Scrum Master. So my
Okay,
guest for
hi.
today is Raul De Leon. Raul, can you say hi?
Hi guys. So I'm Raul De Leon, and depending on where you are from right now, it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So, hello.
Alright. So Raul, let's get into it now. What is a
Sure.
Scrum Master?
Okay. So basically, the textbook definition, they are basically servant leaders who lead what we call a development team, and usually in Scrum projects.
Mhm.
So when I say servant leaders, wala na yung yung traditional pagsamong leader, yung parang boss na didictate ng orders na ito gawin mo yan, bawal ito.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Scrum Masters, on the other hand, they're supposed to una yung empower or encourage yung development team members na to fully exercise yung kanilang talents, not in just one specific area, pero para lang ma-complete yung goal, no? So in Scrum, we call them sprints, pero para sa mga siguro yung mga hindi masyadong familiar sa IT but more on the classic project management side, you might know them more as milestones.
Mm.
Okay? So well, we'll call them sprint kasi yan ang kasanayan namin as Scrum Master.
Right,
So
right.
basically, kada sprint, usually may yung development team members and working together with what we call the product owners. Um, Product owners, you can say they're the masters or of the project. Like yung ano yung what goes in, anong dapat gawin ng mga development team members, si product owner makakasalita or siya yung magsasabi. Kahit pa CEO ng company yan, ang susundan ng development team member is not the CEO, hindi yung finance na nagsusulat ng kanilang paycheck, although he may have some sort of control, no? Pero it's the product owner ang susundan. So, where do Scrum Masters come in? We help empower the development team to fully maximize their potential. We help the product owner arrive, kumbaga parang formulate yung goal, yung product, okay? And we facilitate yung events if kailangan. When I say events, ito yung mga ceremonies or meetings what happens with a Scrum, within a sprint, okay? So that's pretty much it about the Scrum Master. You can pretty much say na it's the next evolution ng classic project manager because I've also took notes yung traditional project management, kanila magagali yung scope, sila magde-develop ng scope, sila they monitor what we call the Gantt chart. Okay. By the way, spoiler alert, hindi na uso Gantt chart sa Scrum. Okay? So they monitor the Gantt chart, kino-compute nila yung expenditures ng project. So nangyari sa Scrum or in Agile, that role has been split into two: product owner and Scrum Master. Okay, so Scrum Master is what I'm handling right now. Sila yung magtatanggal ng mga impediments sa development team member, and we also yung nga yan ang pinaka-focus natin, empower the development team members. Okay.
Right, right. No? So in terms of very interesting tong Scrum Master, no, especially to the people
Mm-hmm.
who have first time have heard of this, no, kasi maybe galing ka school, wala naman to sa school masyado yung Scrum Master.
Wala
Yung
nga.
project management, maintindihan pa na nila kasi may parang project leader, tapos yung ano no, yung parang i-distribute na
Yes.
may taga document, may taga code, parang tapos may leader. Um,
Yes.
Right. So, siguro ang question dito, yung Scrum Master, pwede rin ba siyang developer or pwede ba siya yung parang lead developer?
Well, there's no written rule kung what a Scrum Master can do, no? Kasi yung what they're trying, siguro I'll be jumping ahead, no? Although feel free if I'm speaking na in Greek kung di na naintindihan, okay? One of the tenets ni Agile is that, yun nga, we're supposed to be agile, flexible enough. So, pag sabi ko development team member, hindi ko sinasabi programmer, tester, BA, analyst lang. Tapos parang yung ito na yung binabantayan na yung job description na, ito lang job description ko. Hindi na ako maghahawak ng business analysis or QA. So the Scrum Master, he can be the lead developer, he can be the project manager. Okay, although it's preferable na nag-focus sa Scrum Master role. Although nothing is stopping him from being the lead developer sa isang project. There's no rule against that. Although parang it can be implied na they'd rather somebody else take that role.
Right, right. No? And in this case, in your case, maybe if you are the full-time Scrum Master, are
Yes.
you handling just one project where you can really focus on that, or you can be Scrum Masters of multiple projects?
In an ideal world, syempre, again, ideal, one Scrum Master, one project.
Mm.
Okay. Although it already has it already has been in the case na a Scrum Master can handle several smaller projects. Tapos depende sa complexity and the size of those projects and project teams or project effort, baka kailangan na ng panibagong or additional Scrum Master or project manager or coordinator. Okay,
Right.
but again, ideal setting 1:1 pero pero depending on the size and the complexity, baka mahirapan.
Right, right. No? And since you manage a lot of teams or a lot of people, how would you
Mhm.
describe your management style be as a Scrum Master?
Um, that's a good question, no, Rafael, no? Kasi I've been described na past teams ko, yung iba nagsabi I'm lax.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos yung contradicted din, yung kabilang team naman nagsasabi micromanager daw ako. I mean,
Mm.
it's parang okay, ano pa talaga? But kidding aside, man, I consider myself na yung I'm the type of manager, boss,
Mm-hmm.
or leader na if I present the problem, I trust you to be able to solve it as best as you can. And yung nga, at the end of a milestone or sprint, may retrospective yan, I would always assume na you are the best person for the job and you parang at the time of the end project start, alam mo dapat yung gagawin. Pero kung yung nga, if Murphy's law hits, we all know Murphy's law, right? Takes no prisoners. I will never blame you kung Murphy's law hit. That's one of my promises. So basically, two, no. I know you're the best guy for the job. Also assuming you're smarter than me. And second is, if stuff hits the fan, I'm not blaming you, no
Right,
matter
right,
what.
right. And ito nga, for our audience, no, just in case hindi na-define yung Murphy's
Sure.
Law, is anything that goes wrong will probably go wrong or will go wrong.
Ay, nako, that has happened a lot,
So,
especially yung
so
past experience ko.
yeah, yeah. How do you deal with this unexpected error, no?
Okay. Another good question. Kasi there's no silver bullet to how to handle Murphy's Law. Pero at least yung the framework on handling Murphy's Law, it's pretty much prescribed sa Scrum Guide or sa Agile, wherein we actually inspect ourselves. We take a seat back, or we sit back and we discuss what went wrong. Although when I ask the question what went wrong sa mga what we call retrospectives, or we talk about what can we do better, it's important to note that this exercise is not meant to finger point. Okay, we just want to improve the process. We just want to know what we can do better. We want to know what are the things that are totally out of our control na kailangan talaga i-escalate. That's the purpose of the question, what went wrong. It's not, kasi dahil si person A, hindi dahil sa person B. If that happens in retrospective and as Scrum Master, I have to act as referee now. Oops. Hindi yan yung goal ng retrospective natin. Okay, so it's honestly just an honest conversation without any judgment. As for me, that's the best way to approach Murphy's Law.
Right, right. Although, if I may ask, no, parang if no one no one is blamed, quote unquote, or no one's
Yeah.
does that also mean no one is responsible enough, or is that the Scrum Master is blamed, or the Scrum Master is the one
Kung kunyari may nagkamali, parang, kung something goes wrong, sinong i-blame, no?
right? For
So again,
example,
mm,
maybe hindi, is it like hindi naglagay ng buffer, or hindi
okay.
hindi na plan well enough, no? How does that affect siguro you as a Scrum Master or product.
Okay. So, if the result comes from sa retrospective na, kasi hindi maayos ang scoping. Okay. If that's the case, then we will have to have a conversation with the product owner na yung nga, hindi maayos yung pag-scope, no? So, just an example, without breaking my NDA, no? So, in a recent project, tapos na yung nalatag na yung mga specifications, na-test na-clear ng QA, na-deploy ng DevOps. In other words, it's planchado na. So it's a tracking tool namin which we call Jira, which by the way, very great tool for agile projects. Done na siya with that beautiful green done status. Ngayon, may bumoto na syempre kapag user nag-report, they don't know kung bug yan o hindi lang kasama sa requirements, no?
Right.
So they'll state a problem. Okay. So we have to one thing I've learned is that when we state the problem, I've learned to be more sensitive when describing it to the developers. Kasi it happens na in my view, I'm just stating yung difficulty ni customer. Pero yung baka pagdating sa developer or sa team na may mali silang ginawa na hindi nila na-fix na kaagad kaya sila rin naging defensive. That's why yung ini-emphasize ko na you have to establish, parang it's important to establish that relationship. It's important to establish that rule na porket I'm describing a problem, it's not your fault. Okay? So true enough, it's not exactly their fault because it's a missed requirement kaya nagka-problema yung aberya yung user. So that missed requirement means na change request. Tapos ang usapan. Right? I mean, if it's a change request, then we work on the change request kasi importante kay user yan. Right? So that's what happened, no? So siguro for those in thinking about becoming a Scrum Master, just be careful na lang siguro when you describe that kasi there are folks na pag sinabi mo may problema, magiging defensive ka agad.
Right now. Let's talk about naman this time, you're very comfortable as a Scrum Master in sense like you're really in the IT field at the moment. Let's talk about your journey na, no? How did you get into the IT field? Did you start in the IT field from high school, or did you even foresee that you would be a Scrum Master, or obviously not the title Scrum Master kasi hindi pa uso yun at the time, no? Pero were you really inclined to IT before?
Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting kwento, no? So actually, when I was back in high school, I just heard of the job title Systems Analyst. When I say high school, I'm talking about, ito na, halata ng edad ko. I was a senior in 1995 pag-graduate na. Hindi. Mali. 98 to 99 senior na ako noon. 95 freshman pa lang ako eh. So I've heard the job title, Systems Analyst. Oh, anong ginagawa nila? Ang pagkasabi sa akin noon, type sa computer. Tapos, syempre, during that time, pag sinabi mong ganitong amount, ang laki ng pera, tapos type ng computer. Uy, okay to Sige, gusto ko maging Systems Analyst. Now, when I entered college, sadly, I didn't qualify for the IT program kasi my math scores sucked. As in, dalawang take ako ng algebra and geometry. And basically, that disqualified me from the IT program. So, nangyari, they saw my ability to communicate well. I qualified naman for the education program. Education as in pang-teaching. Okay, so siguro back then I could have felt na fine, I can communicate well. In fact, until now I still wonder paano ko nakapaspasa nun. Kasi I always considered myself as the introvert. Pero from the way I talk, supposedly hindi daw pang introvert yan. Yung mga gusto ko doon ako sa sarili kong sulok, no? Parang I sort of stuck like a sore thumb back then in college sa education program because maybe I didn't quite jive well. So I'm like, okay, fine. So true enough, nung pag-graduate ako ng college, I met one of my neighbors. He's actually the head of a headhunting company. No, isa ako sa mga napunta sa call center industry back in 2003. So I was taking phone calls for customer service for mobile phone company sa States. And then eventually I also was a customer service rep for how can I say this? An electronic payment system, again, without breaking NDA. It's what you use online to make payments. So you can pretty much guess sino yung major player dyan na connected to a huge auction site, right? Yeah, you can make the connection already, right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So anyways, now, during that time, mahilig ako sa games. In fact, munti ako mag-kick out nung college. I saw this course back, may advertisement na we're offering a course on game design. As in, game design. So, nakita ko yung, siguro dahil nga sa education background ko, nakita ko na yung pagsabing game design, hindi ito yung drawing kasi the most complex drawing I can do is a stick figure with hair. Right? So, game design, it's like, parang, if you're going to translate that to non-game software terms, you can say that they're like the solutions architect or yung software, yung nagsusulat yung how the parameters of the software, what's it for, ano yung purpose niya.
Yes.
That's what game design is all about. So, I took the course. So, habang yung makasama ko sa call center, pag after shift, mag-iinuman, gigising ng late, ako naman uuwi na magmamadali umuwi kasi sa every rest day ko, I have to wake up again. Considering na galing ako sa mid-shift, so I enter my shift at 12 midnight. Tapos gigising ako ng 7 a.m. kasi may class ako ng 7:30.
Right.
Just to study game design. That's how, that's at that time, that's already my inclination towards IT. Yan ang pinakamalapit ko, game design. Yan ang una kong basically study course into IT or software industry, game design. So, twist of fate, I actually got promoted sa call center. So, hindi na ako babad sa telepono into quality assurance analyst naman. Kami naman nakikinig kung compliant ba yung si agent, no?
Yes.
And then eventually, I was promoted to quality assurance supervisor, which is basically yung TL ng mga QA analysts.
Right.
So, parang na-limelight na yung pinag-aralan kong game design. Now, 2003, around 2005, 2006, I wanted to, ito na yung yearning ko. I really wanted to take up yung pinag-aralan ko noon sa game design.
Right.
So, ito apparently, tumatawag na ulit eh. Ngayon, hindi mo exactly waste yung call center industry ko kasi yung supposedly we can deal well with time pressure. And we can communicate well kasi nga the first generation ng mga call center agents, you can definitely say magagaling magsalita yung mga yon, no? Tapos, dahil nga may background ako to quality assurance in quality assurance, I mean, fine, it's different rating an agent's call between performing quality assurance checks sa software, but the principles are still the same.
Right.
Now, we have to identify yung metrics and what will make this software successful, what makes it, convenient to use, and if it will match the, yung user's requirements, no? Yan yung na-translate ko, yung background ko sa quality assurance in the call center sa software. Tapos, I basically joined in as a software tester, as in manual testing, no? Kasi wala akong alam sa automated testing kasi I don't have any scripting background. Surprise. Right? I can't program. Siguro yung pinaka-programming ko is HTML, yung pang message board pa, no? So, I started as a QA tester. Tapos, again, I have to retool myself. Doon ako nag-aral ng project management. Yung traditional project management na meron pang design phase, negotiation phase, development phase, testing phase, deployment, yung traditional waterfall. Okay. In between, again, during my, when I was studying that, doon ko naman yung na-discover yung term agile. So, pinag-aralan namin yung agile. There are actually several flavors of agile, no? The ones I'm most familiar are basically Scrum and Kanban. Okay. So, to cut the siguro yung slightly fast forward, I eventually was promoted as associate game producer or project manager sometime 2013, no? So ayun, I handled a small team of game developers, testers, and I still remember that my first software project I handled as a project manager / Scrum Master. It was a chat application for a dairy company in the US. I know it's very varied, right? So at that time, I was taking baby steps na in Scrum. So andyan na yung mga daily stand-ups natin. We also had alignment sessions with the product, well, our product owners like the client, yung POC na kausap namin, and then my project close or retrospective, okay? We were doing the baby steps, okay? So nag-expand din yung projects ko. So I handled several more mobile games. And then I eventually, one of my biggest projects at that time was porting an Xbox 360 game into mobile. Okay. Medyo challenging, right? Yeah, right? Okay. So one of the it's also the project that's sort of yun ba yung trial of fire ko? Kasi ang dami ko natutunan sa project na yun. Yun nga, one of the biggest lessons it taught me is that I should have been more brave. Na pag sinabi ko, hindi, lugi tayo dyan. I should have said that. Okay, tapos hindi na exactly bahala na magalit sila. But yun nga, that's the important message there is that if you see something that's about to go wrong, and it's definitely going to be bad news, you have to say it. You have to you have to have those balls to say it. And if alam mo, malulugi yung company or malulugi sa tao mo, yung direction, you have to speak up as the servant leader. Okay, that's one of the lessons I've learned now. So from there, you can say I was practicing Scrum or Agile since 2013. I just got certified last year for Scrum Master. Pero ito pa yung pang plot twist. I had to take 2 takes to pass the exam. Okay. Kasi nung first time I took it last year, I was cocky. Kasi sabi ko, I pretty much studied Scrum Agile since 2012, 2013. It's 2020. Alam ko na dapat yan. Because I was so cocky, I failed miserably by 2 points. Ang sakit, no? So, it's just a wake-up call for me to further review. And after roughly 2 to 3 weeks, I took the exam again. So, kung dati, 2 points na lang pasado na, ngayon, minus 2 points na lang. So, pasadong na ako.
Wow, okay. Almost perfect.
Yeah. Almost perfect, that's right. Kasi minus 2 percent points na lang papasa na ako. Perfect na eh. So, that's where I'm at right now, no? So, as you can see, unlike other candidates you probably have interviewed in the past na talagang soft computer engineering or computer programming ang pinag-aralan, I came from a non-software related course in college at totally walang kinalaman sa computer, but I still made it. So my advice to those who are thinking to switch to IT, number 1, your background, what made you right now, hindi sayang yan. Kasi akala ko sayang yung taon ko sa education, sayang taon ko sa call center. Hindi yan sayang. Kasi one thing I noticed dun sa mga peers ko sa especially sa developers I've worked with, is that yes, they're very smart. They're more intelligent than me, for sure, But I noticed that when it comes to communicating with the client or with a stakeholder or simpleng yung communicating with another team member.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Kailangan lang tulong. And that's where I was able to basically get them all together in a single room and point them to a single objective, no? And another thing that also I'm thankful for is that kaya kong i-translate yung as best I can, I pride myself in being able to extract yung sinasabi ng programmer or developer and convert that to something what we call business English or yung kaya maintindihan ng client na walang alam sa computer. Wala lang alam sa computer. Okay. I pride myself in knowing that, no? And also yung being able to gather people to have that, I never knew I had the charisma, no? To gather the people, to tell them that this is the problem we need to solve. Pero unlike other bosses, I will not tell you how to solve it. You tell us how we are going to solve that problem. I enjoy that exercise the most. Basically, the interaction with the people.
Right. And so basically to summarize a little bit, for our audience, it seems like to me a good path could also follow is that
Yes.
you take a QA role and then become a Scrum Master or Project Manager. It seems like a good progression as well because as QA you are the one who's evaluating. Initially as QA you're not the one making the scope. But you're evaluating the scope na it's applied properly. And then when you move
Yes.
towards project management and Scrum Master,
Mm-hmm.
you are now more the experience as a QA helps you in that set of skills, no?
You can say it's one of the pathways.
Yes,
Kasi
yes.
there are I have met and worked with Scrum Masters na galing talagang IT. So they have the advantage naman na dahil nga it's their field, it's their bread and butter, they know how to code, they can program. Mas equipped, parang may advantage lang sa akin when it comes to when it comes to yung software design or engineering impediments ng development team, no? It just so happens my forte is more on user experience, and I just got the term now, design thinking, yung being able to get everybody in one room and talk about the problem. That's basically my unique edges, no, UX and design thinking. Pero yung iba, kung software expertise, doon silang lamang. What am I really trying to say? There's actually more than one path to becoming a good Scrum Master.
Right.
My path just so happens to be more on UX and collaboration. If you're already a successful programmer and you want to be a Scrum Master, kayang-kaya pa rin yan. Okay, nothing's gonna stop. There's no one set of path to become a Scrum Master. What I want to recommend though is that if you want to be a Scrum Master, regardless of your background, you have to be comfortable talking to people. You have to be comfortable actually, yeah, you have to be very comfortable talking to people. When I say to people, your team, the clients, or kahit yung bossing, you have to be comfortable talking to people, all three types. No?
Right.
If you want to be a successful Scrum Master.
Right. Let's let's go to the next question is towards especially communicating and working. No, as Scrum Masters,
Yeah.
there's a lot of coordination, but right now it's
Yes.
all remote working. No, we're not
Oh,
anymore
yes.
in the office. No, how do you feel about remote working?
Well, it is a challenge kasi I've always worked in offices my entire life. In fact, recently lang ako napunta sa work from home environment. So, before, kung may kailangan ka lang update or just want to get a quick catch up with a colleague, punta ka na sa station niya, tap his desk and, hey, what's up? Okay. Now it's not so possible. No. So, well, again, thanks to the advances of technology today, we have stuff like Zoom, Google Hangouts, we have Skype, we have Slack. That's how we can collaborate, no? So, medyo hot topic yung paggamit ng webcam, okay? Because to foster trust, you have to basically make it known that you're not demanding to put on the webcam. Kunyari, kung bagong gising lang or yung morning face or
Mm-mm.
ako, guilty ako minsan, hindi naligo bago magtrabaho. Okay? But it's a secret. Okay. Now, there's another school of thought na kailangan i-on ng webcam para kita na lahat and it's to increase yung how we can communicate. Kasi I'm sure you've heard of the ways we can communicate. You have verbal and non-verbal. Verbal is what, we're just talking right now.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And non-verbal, we're talking about yung the
Body
cues like
cues.
yung
Yeah.
facial expressions, okay? Kasi the reason why they say na kailangan yung i-on ng webcam is, for example, demonstrate ko lang. If I turn off my webcam right now and if I start talking, parang my only ways of communication is through my voice or kung chat lang yan, it's the text. But sorry. May lag yan. If I enable my webcam, makikita mo na yung facial expression ko na, yeah, I may be talking, baka, eto pa, no? Kung kunwari if I'm talking, oh, it's a piece of crap, pero tipo, tawang-tawa naman ako, you can see naman na parang I'm saying it's a piece of crap in a jokingly way. But if I didn't have that webcam, it's a piece of crap, you're gonna take it differently. You'll be
Sure.
thinking that I'm criticizing the work. So that's the school of thought na kailangan i-enforce yung webcam. So my advice, it depends. Off webcam, on webcam, on how to deal with the communication problems in this current pandemic. No, if anything though, again, we have to set the tone. Na because lalo na because of the pandemic, everybody's stressed. Everybody's having their own issues to sort out. Um, let's as servant leaders, let's try to give them one less place to be toxic at, so that way everybody can be more productive and we can further earn their trust. We need that trust if we want to have successful teams.
Right. Right. No. So your last question na lang
Sure.
for us now is basically our audience will have listened to your story. They say, "Oh, you have successfully entered or shifted into IT career now." Pero
Hmm.
in your own definition, what is success to you?
Success to me is I know I'm successful in my career is if I wake up every morning and I cliche, no, I don't feel like going to work, pero it's true na if you wake up every morning, you're actually looking forward what's going to happen next, what's the next puzzle to solve, what's the next challenge to tackle at work, you're successful already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't worry too much yet about yung the dollar or the peso sign. It'll come. Trust me, it'll come eventually. Just focus first on having basically enjoying your work. Focus on doing a great work. Then that will come, and mas parang lalaki pa yung success mo.
Right, right. No. And so, guys, again, thank you so much, Sir Raul. If you have any questions, everyone, don't forget on YouTube, you can always put in the comment, no? If you are listening over Spotify or other platform, I'm not sure how you can leave a comment, but you can definitely message me as
Mhm.
well so that we can I can give the feedback to Sir Raul, no, and everything though. Again,
Okay.
guys, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you again, Sir Raul. Siguro one last, no,
Thank you.
do you have
Sure.
any shout out or anything that you are currently passionate about, no?
Okay, so when it comes to my professional side of my life, no, shout outs to the Agile Philippines Facebook group. Actually, you can get a lot of tidbits there, and siguro shout outs then sa former teachers ko in game design kasi they're the ones who got me into IT in the first place.
Right.
So, Sir Gabby Dizon, Sir Ranulph Goss, thank you. Kayo yung unang teachers ko in IT. Right. And lastly, well, what can I say? Just, if you think to switch to IT, just do it. Okay. And stick to don't forget your main strength. Okay. So just stick to that and you should be fine.
All right, thank you again, and everyone, goodbye. Thanks for
All right. Good night.
listening.
Thank you.
And of course, if you like our content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell.